What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to something a bit different. Today we're taking it back a little bit and we're going to be redoing an older video of mine. We're going to be talking about Garden Warfare 1 and why I personally think it's still worth playing even in today's day and age. So if you enjoy it, drop a like, be sure to subscribe. We've got some old gameplay here. As you can see, the layout of the screen is completely different, and I hope you guys go ahead and enjoy this video. So first and foremost, I want to talk about Garden Warfare 1 is something I've always thought about the game, the passion behind it. You could tell that they had, well, PopCap had a lot more fun creating this game than they did with BFN. Obviously, Garden Warfare 2, a bit of a different story, it's a bit more updated, with a lot less visual behind it, in my opinion. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the video, but regardless, I feel like Garden Warfare 1 had so much going for it, especially for an older kind of game. It was so beautiful in terms of like weapon skins, customizations for the zombies and the plants, and don't even get me started on the map design. Some of the maps on this game, or majority of the maps on this game, were just so damn good to look at and play, you know? And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I enjoy the game so much is because of how it looks. For an old game, in 2025, I think it looks absolutely awesome. You know, nothing seems to be out of place. Might be, a little bit buggy here and there, but hey, that's actually part of the fun. So, anyway, first and foremost in the list of things today is the map design. As I've just mentioned, the game's maps were just so well made, in my opinion. There's always a different fight going on. As you can see, we're playing some Shark Bite Shores here. If any of you remember this map, shout out to you. But every single time I log on and play Garden Warfare 1, it just feels fun to play again. And not just because of nostalgia, even though that is a reason why. The maps themselves, I'm excited to play them, And I will die on this hill gladly. I think Garden Warfare 1 has the best maps out of the three console shooter games. I think genuinely it has some of the best maps I've played on a game like this in a very long time, even to this day. And one of those maps in particular has to be Dual Junction itself on Team Vanquish, and then on Turf Takeover or Gardens and Graveyards, it would have to be Driftwood Shores. But putting my favoritism aside for the maps for a second, one map that definitely stands out for me is Walnut Hills. Now, a lot of you have played Garden Warfare 2 with me, and a lot of you will agree, Walnut Hills does get very, very frustrating to play. Very, very stale, very, very boring sometimes, and a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people find it really, really annoying to play, and don't get me wrong, I totally agree. But in Garden Warfare 1, Walnut Hills feels so good to play. Now, I don't know if it's because of the movement, it does feel a little bit different compared to this game, and Garden Warfare 2 is obviously a more updated system, more updated kind of game, and everything else in between. But Garden Warfare 1's version of Walnut Hills also looks better, in my opinion. I feel like Garden Warfare 2's one is a little bit uh, similar, but it's very washed down. I don't know what you guys think about Walnut Hills on both versions, but I feel like on Garden Warfare 1, this is a much, much better map compared to its counterpart. And compared to Garden Warfare 1, Garden Warfare 2's one just doesn't feel fun to play, And I feel like that is one of the key maps in between both games that we have seen. I feel like that is a key map because it allows you to make the comparison between the two. Now, if you're talking about like Main Street, if you're talking like Chomp Town, if you're talking about Driftwood Shores, as we just mentioned, this map has everything. I feel like there's always a map that someone likes on this game. And don't get me wrong, I feel like Garden Warfare 2, it does have some good maps. I do enjoy Moonbase Z and Lunar Landing. I do enjoy Seeds of Time. But I'll be honest, that's basically it. I'm not a huge fan of Zomburbia. I don't like Zombopolis, Time Park. We all hate that map. You know, I don't know. I feel like with this game, I can log on. I can't really be frustrated about the map rotation. It's just fun to play, no matter what map it is. Now, going back to the list, I have something I was jotted down here, is the passion behind the game itself. You know, whether it's the game's visual aspect, of the game itself, like we've just mentioned, it looks pretty, even for an old game in today's standards. The game itself just, you would expect it to run like hot garbage. Now, don't get me wrong, there are moments on this game where it's like, okay, that shouldn't have happened. There are a couple of bugs, there are a couple of things that are not supposed to happen and very much out of the norm. But like to play a game this old on PS5, for example, it runs better than BFN, in my opinion. I remember not too long ago, actually, I played, well, tried to play BFN, and it didn't let me load up the game. Now, I don't know if it was because it was a one-off day. It definitely wasn't, because it still doesn't let me log on to the game. So I was like, okay, BFN's not working. Let's go play Garden Warfare 1. It ran as smooth as a nut. It was fantastic. There was nothing wrong with the game. The servers were even smoother than Garden Warfare 2, I would say. And I think overall, standards-wise, in terms of how the game runs, I'm just gobsmacked every time I log back on, because it feels really, really nice to play. Because you would expect an old game like this to be a little bit bad, and in terms of performance, but with Garden Warfare 1, you just don't feel that whatsoever. And it's really, really awesome to play, and it's really, really awesome to see that an older game like this, for example, it still holds up in today's day and age. So moving forward is the developers themselves. Garden Warfare 1, hands down, I think had the best development team. I had so many great memories on this game thanks to the developers. I was part of the community massively back then, way before I was even doing YouTube and Twitch and all that kind of stuff. So what I mean by developers is how they interacted with the community. Now, I don't know how many of you were around back when this game was like popular. Garden Warfare 2 wasn't even a thing yet. This game was fantastic. You had people talking online with the developers all the time, interacting with them, asking for ideas, and the developers responded and really took the time out of their day to get back to the fans and really give us the time of day in terms of like answers and stuff like that. It was amazing. They really, really enjoyed the community, and you could tell they were having fun. Now, one thing I do want to say about this game very quickly is also the DLCs. We had DLCs on Garden Warfare 1 which were just flawless. I really enjoyed them. One of them in particular was the Zomboss Down DLC with Alien Flower, Chomp Thing, Paleontologist, etc. Some of you may or may not know what I'm talking about there, but Zomboss Down DLC is a great example of a passion behind Garden Warfare 1. It was so well designed. The characters were absolutely amazing in their own rights, and they all looked great. They all feel great to play, even on Garden Warfare 2. But for Garden Warfare 1, Zomboss Down DLC is a great example of that. You know, DLCs can be good on older games like this. One thing I do want to mention about the Zomboss Down DLC as well is around that time, I remember Main Street was having a problem with the Tactical Kook ending. I feel like it had something to do with the Tactical Kook itself. Apparently it wasn't loading into the map, and then it would glitch or bug the game out, and they actually had to remove that map. They actually had to remove the map from the game for a while in order to fix the problem. And a lot of people were very upset. They were like, oh, Main Street's one of my favourite maps. What do we do now? We only have Driftwood Shores and, Walnut Hills to play. So what the developers did, they actually said, look, we have a plan. Don't worry. Sit tight. Wait and see. And as soon as that entire problem and situation happened, they actually brought out the Zomboss Down DLC with the golf course as the Turf Takeover map, which was perfect timing. And hands down, that is one of the best maps I've ever played. I really enjoyed a golf course map. If Driftwood Shores wasn't on this game, I think the golf course map would be my favorite Turf Takeover map. It's just very well designed. It came out at a very crucial time, and a lot of people caught on with the whole DLC in general. Great characters, great maps that came along with it, great customizations that came along with it, and that leads me on to my next point, is the customizations in this game. I've always said this, and I will die on this hill gladly once again. Garden Warfare 1 had better customizations than Garden Warfare 2. It is a fact, in my opinion. Just look at Plasma P, the Mass Effect skin you can put on it. It looks way cooler than its counterpart on Garden Warfare 2. Now, one thing I will say about this game as well is the weapon skins. The weapon skins are so good. A lot of you know what I'm talking about when I say weapon skins, especially for the zombies, because obviously they have weapon skins. The plants themselves have like full-on tattoos and stuff like that, which I think is the plant's way of having weapon skins. But regardless, the customizations in Garden Warfare 1, I absolutely love them. I always have, and that answer will never ever change. Garden Warfare 1 review is now officially in the books, an updated version at least, but I really, really like this game. I think it holds up nicely, it looks great, even today, and I am definitely going to be checking out again sometime soon. It's been far too long since we played this, so keep an eye out. I will be streaming Garden Warfare 1 at some point in the near future, and yeah, man, I think this game's great. I do miss it as well, and you know, I remember so many memories that I've made back in the day on this game, and I feel like the reason why this game stands out so much for me is because of how involved I was back then with the community. And you know, I feel like it's even better because back then I wasn't part of YouTube. I wasn't streaming then. I wasn't making videos then. I wasn't even doing Twitch either. I was nowhere near at that point in my life yet. So, you know, to be that involved with a community, I had so many friends on Garden Warfare 1 as well. I made so many friends, met so many people. I interacted with YouTubers as well. Three YouTubers in particular, iLogix HD, Zero X Fusions, and Zach Scott Games. Them three were fantastic for me and everybody else. They actually interacted with me several times. We played a couple games. It was awesome. Really, really enjoyed it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed something a bit different. Let me know what you think about Garden Warfare 1. Do you think it's one of the best games you've played in terms of PvZ or in general? I most certainly do. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. We are on the road to 4,000 subscribers now instead of 3,000 in the top left. And yeah, I appreciate the support. So stay safe, stay hydrated, keep on gaming. If you see a pea shooter, shoot as RPG. And if you see a chomper, be sure to jump out of the way. Otherwise, you are good soup.